All right, welcome back for another free preview of some of the Rennavision members only content. Last week I shared the top 10 and 10 that I do for members only, and today I'm going to do the other show that I like to try to do to start the week to kind of give you some things to look out for this upcoming Wednesday when you hit that shop. Let me know what you think about this in the comments section. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything, and if you like it, consider joining up by clicking that join button and becoming a member. And with that, hang on for a few seconds after this intro, and I will be back with this week's selection of books. All right, so this is the Wednesday watch list. This is the show that I like to list some of the books that I'm keeping an eye on to see what happens this upcoming Wednesday. Just some books that have a little bit of buzz, some things that I'm seeing that are sold out in some online places, some things I see that are selling on eBay, and just want to keep an eye on to see what happens after they hit the shelves on this upcoming New Comic Book Day. And this is for New Comic Book Day, March 15th, 2023. So just a couple of days away and a couple of days before St. Patty's Day. These are the books I'm going to go see if they're on the shelves, what they're doing on the market, etc. So join me in checking out some weird stuff because I do have some weird ones for you. And that's where we're going to start off first with an independent book that just kind of caught my eye a little bit. And this is Cauldron of Horror #1 from AC Comics. This is a $5.95 cover price, so just keep that in mind too. It's not, a standard $3.99. It's a little bit pricier, but it's got an interesting cover. Don't know much about what's in the guts of this thing, but I did notice that it's not available in a lot of places when you go look to pre-order it, at least. So let's look to see if any have sold, and there were a couple. Granted, these are not going to make you rich. I mean, you can see one sold for cover price plus shipping, and another sold for $10.88 plus $10 shipping out of Canada. So that's like $20 for this book already. And that was a March 9th sale, and the other one was March 8th. So within the last few days, a couple. These are the only copies I can see that are sold on eBay. So it's not like a big title. This is one of those weird indie books. Not every shop's going to have this. So this is going to be one of those tough to find little oddball things that, who knows, stranger things have heated up on the aftermarket. But if you were looking right now, there's only another copy for $10.88 plus $10.88 shipping out of Canada. So if you're interested, it's going to cost you $20 if you're in the U.S. To get this book if you want to buy it on eBay. Because, like I said, a lot of the places online are already sold out for their pre-order. So you'll have to see what your shop gets on Wednesday if you're interested in this book. And like I said, I'm just going to take a look, and I'm kind of curious about this one because it's one of those weird, independent titles. Just like the next book. Again, don't know much about the title in general, just noticing trends of things of, like I said, they're sold out and wondering why and seeing what they're doing on the market. This one is from Blood Moon Comics, another weird indie publisher. Stray Sheep #2, not stray dogs, stray sheep. No copies sold. All right, so there's no copy sold. Why am I looking at this? Why am I keeping an eye on this? All right, and there's none available either of this particular title on eBay. So why am I looking at this, and why am I looking for this? Well, the reason why is because, like I said, when I was checking a few spots, it was just sold out everywhere, and I was just curious as to why. I don't know much why. You see, Midtown had it, limit one per customer, and they're on a wish list. They don't have any copies left. I was looking at Graham Cracker. Where else did I look? Graham Cracker and Tifa, Things from Another World. Check there as well. Not available. So that just got me curious. So I'd be curious to see what happens on Wednesday when a few of these hit some shelves. If any hit the market, do they trade for a premium? What's going to happen? Like I said, I don't know much about this title. It's just one of the things caught my eye, so I'm going to look into it. And this is what I'm looking into heading into New Comic Book Wednesday. Speaking of oddball things, you like cassette tapes? I'm sure some of you do, but we're getting a comic book that's going to include a cassette tape coming out. It's got a whopping $19.99 cover price, so you're paying for that tape. It ain't going to be free. This is a limited edition. This is Rock and Roll Hell, Robertson Romsberg's Rock and Roll Hell. Again, a smaller publisher, coming shrink wrapped with a cassette tape of the soundtrack, I guess, for this story. Couldn't find any like real recent sales. I think there might have been some right around that cover price, but I wasn't sure because it was one of those multiple listings. Because there are other covers for this book that do not include a cassette tape, but the cassette tape version, like I said, it's asking $20 at the start. That's the MSRP. So the only copy I can see of sold so far, or I'm sorry, not sold, is available online, is one that's listed for $25. So not much of a premium, but it's one of those weird little things that I'm just kind of curious about. So I'm just curious if I see it on the shelf. If I do see this on the shelf, it doesn't mean I'm going to go buy it. I mean, it is 20 bucks after all, and it's not something that really interests me, but it is kind of curious. And I do like these weird little things. So like I said, it's on my watch list. It's just something I'm keeping an eye on because I am curious. I'm a curious individual, and this is stuff that I'm looking out for. So I figured I'd put it on your radars as well and see what you guys think of it. Now, this upcoming Wednesday also has a number of second prints coming out. And you know my feelings. I like second prints. I like second prints and later printings that have new cover art. I find them interesting, but I also only like them really when they're cheap. Like I only like getting them kind of cheap. I know some of them get increased in value, so I'm not telling you to go get any of these, but I'm keeping an eye out. I'm watching to see what happens because I think a recent Black Panther second print just got a little bit of heat going off of it. I think it was like number 4 or something. I can't remember, but it was just like last week or the week before. But for this week, we have these are all for cover price right now. So even recent sales and plenty of listings right now are at cover price. We'll see what happens on Wednesday if any of these increase. If like they sell, shops don't have them. People are empty-handed when they go to the shop on Wednesday, so then they start buying the copies online. We'll see what happens. But for now, Amazing Spider-Man number 18 that had that first appearance of this Chasm King. I can't remember what Chasm called himself, but it was a new version of Chasm, and when he had wings and all that stuff from the Dark Web storyline. But still, kind of interesting cover. But like I said, it's cover price right now. That's coming out on Wednesday, as well as Ghostlight number 1. I know a lot of people are looking at those Ghostlight books. They're kind of interested in that character. It's kind of a new character. It's retconned into existence, really. And a couple of the covers of the original sell for so for a couple of bucks. But here is a second print that's also coming out this Wednesday. And then another one that's also got a second print coming out is Blade, Bloodline, Daughter of Blade. I don't know why. I think there's plenty of copies of this out there. I don't even know why some of these get second prints. And this one, however, is not new cover art. This is one of the variants that is recolored. It was a red cover, I think a red background, and now they used a black background. So not a big fan. Nor am I a really big fan of this title. It's just really not great. It's okay. It's not terrible, I guess, but it's not really all that good. So I'm not going to be looking for that one, but I am curious what prices will do when these things hit shelves on Wednesday. Will any of these get sold out? Like I said, when these become sought after the fact, time will tell. I'm just giving you a heads up, but this is what I'm looking for on Wednesday, so a couple days ahead, including one more. We got one more second print, and I actually did put this on my list that I do want to try to get this one. I like this cover too. It's got Viv. I like Viv Vision, and I think we're supposed to be getting her in the MCU, but I kind of like this cover. And this is a second print for Scarlet Witch number 2. Again, there's copies out there. It's only for cover price or so right now, listed and sales. So it's nothing that's traded at a premium yet. I just kind of like it, so I kind of want to get one for myself. And we'll see what happens after the fact. But this one has that trend that I do not like. This one has an incentive for the second print. I just don't like it. I don't know. It just bothers me for some reason. But this one has a second print that has a cool cover that we've already seen. So they're reusing art, now a virgin version of this. This is the 1 in 25 Alex Maleev cover. This is, I believe, was the 1 in 25 for this issue. The regular 1 in 25. And I think I actually have this because I like this cover and I actually ordered the 1 in 25 for it. I don't know if this is number 1 or number 2, but this was an incentive for the current Scarlet Witch series. And like I said, I do have it. But now there's a virgin version. That's the second print, 1 in 25. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of them doing that, but they're doing it. And these things aren't always easy to find, which is probably why we're seeing things like this. Pre-sale prices of about $50, so that's double ratio already. Those are sales just from what's that? I don't know, like March 9th, March 6th, somewhere there. So within the last few days, $50, couple of sales. Asking prices, there's a couple listed. I found one listed for $75, another listed for $100. This is a 1 in 25, so multiple, exponentially higher than ratio here are the asking prices right now. We'll see if that holds. We'll see if any buys at that price. But might be one you might want to keep an eye out for if you hit your shop. And if they have a price for under ratio, you might want to consider it because who knows? It could see a little bit more action in the coming days. Now, another cover that is interesting. And like I said, looking at it, kind of curious about it. Right now, it's still just cover price. Cover price. going in and cover price listed. This is Hulk number 13. It's an homage cover. I think this is McNiven doing his best Todd McFarlane. Yeah, it's kind of fun. Kind of cool cover, right? Throwback. I mean, I like homages, and sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't. This one's kind of like in between. I'd probably grab this to throw in my pile when I go to the shop, but I wouldn't, be that upset if I missed it at the same time. But as I said, right now it's only trading at cover price anyway, pre-selling, I should say, at cover price, both what's sold and what's available. So you should be able to get a copy. There's probably enough to go around, but it's something I will be looking out for and keeping an eye on, like I said, in the next couple of days. What happens with the market? Because this is just a moment in time. I'm doing this on Monday evening, and as of now, this is what's happening. But that doesn't mean come Tuesday or even Wednesday that, things change. Things change. Copies become harder to find. People start paying a premium and start, asking for more new listings and et cetera, et cetera. So we will see what happens on Wednesday. Next up, we're going to start hitting some of our incentives now. A lot of what I do here when I'm looking at is I like looking at incentives. I like incentive variants, and I am definitely curious about the ones that, again, trade above that ratio price going into the week they come out. So let's see what we got. We got a new number one for Hellcat. So 5-issue miniseries, I think. New number one. This is Ryan Stegman for the 1 in 25. I kind of like this. It's a pretty cool cover. I mean, this is the image they have released, so this doesn't have all of the trade dress with the barcode and all that stuff. So it will be a slightly different than what you're seeing here. But this is the image that we have available online going into the week. Because again, these books aren't out yet. So let's see what it's doing. Pre-selling for, well, 25 plus $10 shipping, $36. Those are March 11th to 12th. So just the last couple of days. This is over the last weekend. It's selling for a ratio and a little bit above, and plus the shipping. All right. Interesting. Like I said, I'm not surprised by that. We'll see if it holds. And then there's asking prices a little under at $20, and then another one listed at $40. These are both new listings, probably popped up today. So we'll see where this goes. Again, a little under and a little above. So we'll see where this shakes out once the week continues. But this isn't the highest incentive ratio for this book, because there's also a virgin variant for a 1 in 100 that is done by Peach Momoko. I know Peach can be divisive with her art, but some are pretty cool. I like this one. I kind of dig this image, this mirror image with the creepy face, grabbing her hand, blood. I don't know. I kind of like it. I don't know if I need to pay 1 in 100 premium to get this book, but it's kind of cool. So there is a cheaper version out there. I think it's just one of the other regular variants has this cover with the trade dress, but the virgin version is the 1 in 100. And with that, I haven't seen any pre-sale yet, but I did see a couple of listings already for heading into Wednesday, and one of them's at auction, so we have no idea where that's going to end up. So yeah, it shows us $6 right now, but it's got a few days to go. Auctions are kind of tough, but there is one at auction, and then the other one that's listed is a buy it now for 145. So seeking above ratio hasn't gotten above ratio yet. So again, something I'm going to be watching, something I'm keeping an eye on. What else do we got here? I got some other stuff for you, including a regular cover variant that I know sometimes these can sell out and get tougher to find. Then they can start trading at a little bit of a premium. And I kind of like these David Aja, these ship like variants. This is cover D for the new Star Wars Defiant series. So I just like it. It kind of looks like a poster, old school kind of poster. It's kind of a throwback thing. I kind of dig it. These can sometimes sell out and go for a premium, but still cover price right now. So I'm just something I'm watching. I might think about grabbing it if I see it on the shelf this week when I go to the shop. But other than that, just keeping an eye on it, But this book also has some high incentive ratios as well that are already trading at a bit of a premium. So let's go and look at, well, I should say the one is. And that first one is a 1 in 50. This one's got a 1 in 50. This is an IDW book, after all. And IDW doesn't have all the properties they used to, so they've kind of trimmed down their slate, but they are doing some higher ratio incentives where I'm a big fan of the 1 in 10s IDW throws out, and I like grabbing those, but you start throwing out 1 in 50s, I don't know. I like it, but it's a little tougher on the wallet to buy in at the jump. And here is this 1 in 50 for the Star Trek Defiant issue 1. And you can see it's already selling above that 1 in 50 price, $67.45 March 9th. And then there was a pre-sale in February for $125. So somebody's really looking ahead last month and bought one of these for $125, which you might say, like, well, that's kind of crazy. I mean, the recent one only sold for about 67, so it's only slightly over ratio. But we'll see. Again, the asking prices. We got Comic Biz out there with another auction out of the UK. We don't know where that's going to end up. Still has days to go. So don't be fooled by the $6 price, because I think that's the starting bid, which is probably $4.99 in pounds, and then the US conversion probably kicks it out to about $6. That's my guess. And there's a buy it now for 95. So $95 out of Canada with another $10 shipping. So that would be a $105 purchase, not counting tax, for somebody in the US. So that is double ratio on that ask. And that's all I can find right now. So we'll see what happens and how many shops are going to be ordering 50 copies of this Star Trek Defiance series outside of the big boy shops, which a few of them are sold out, or they're asking already a lot of money too. So we'll see what happens. But with that, who's going to order 50 copies? Well, who's going to order 100 copies? Because there is a 1 in 100 virgin version of this cover coming out as well. And again, I'm going to be curious to see what happens if any of these pop up. One pre-sold, and it only sold for 112, which is only slightly above ratio, but I don't know if that's good or bad. That's a lot of money for a Star Trek comic. But at the same time, how many of these are going to be out there? I can't imagine it's not going to be that many. But 112, 46, one sold on March 4th. So a little over a week ago, almost 10 days ago, one pre-sold. And there were none out there right now. So who knows what the asking price would be come Wednesday if somebody grabs one at a shop and decides to throw it up. I would be surprised to see 150. Who knows? I don't know if I'll get it, but I would be surprised to see it asked. And with that, let's get to another oddball book. You think this stuff is weird? Just wait till we get to this. I got some Merc Publishing for you. And for whatever reason, they're also doing high ratio incentives. We got a 1 in 50 for Ms. Meow #7. Yes, Ms. Meow has a 1 in 50. That said, this is still a pretty cool cover. I know this type of like a cheesecake cover, it ain't for everybody. Brings back those memories of the Bad Girl comics of the 90s, the Vampirellas, the Lady Deaths, and all that stuff. But I still appreciate it personally. That said, I'm not shelling out the bucks that it would take to get a 1 in 50 for this book, because there is a regular cover version of this, lower, cost. I think it might be just like a C cover or something like that. But the 1 in 50 has this, I guess, limited trade dress. Might even be a virgin, but the picture that I found listed it like this. So Ms. Meow #7. Yeah, it's out there. Granted, I found one sold, and it sold for ratio back in February. So over a month ago, somebody bought one of these ahead of time for $50. So they paid ratio. And right now, I found one, and it's asking $84. So it's not quite double ratio, but it's getting there. And that's the only one that's out there. And like I said, with the Star Trek book, that's one thing. Star Trek's a property people know. How many people are actually going to be ordering 50 copies of Ms. Meow? I don't know many shops are going to do that, even to get this cover. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with this book after after Wednesday drops. We do have Boom coming back. Boom coming back with House of Slaughter as well. House of Slaughter's coming back, and they got a 1 per store unlock, I guess, variant or whatever the hell they call it. This is pretty much the black and white art for I think the cover A that it doesn't have the trade dress, which would have been up above. But this is 1 per store. 1 per stores can be tricky. Some gather a lot of interest, others get no interest at all. And for right now, House of Slaughter is not Something Is Killing the Children. I mean, they're related, but it doesn't have that same level of heat. So I wouldn't expect this to have those huge asks as maybe some of those Something Is Killing the Children 1 per stores get. And you can see here, no copies have sold yet, or at least pre-sold. Maybe shops didn't even know they're getting this. I think sometimes these books can be a surprise when they throw these 1 per stores in there. But there are a couple out there, and they're only asking 10 and 12 bucks right now. So relatively cheap on these 1 per stores. Will that last? Will that maintain? I don't know. Again, I'm not a huge House of Slaughter fan, so I'm not rushing out to get this. I don't need this cover. It's okay, the art, but it's a little bland. I actually do like the 1 in 50 for this, but I'm probably not going to buy it either because that's a higher ratio incentive and kind of pricey. But let's look at that one too, because that one also doesn't have a lot out there. but it's a pretty cool cover. I like it. I mean, it's stark white for the most part, but that little bit of outline, I don't know. I like it. I like it. Grade's probably going to be tough on this because it is so white. Dirt, fingerprints. I don't know how easy it's going to be to clean. Crease, bends, ticks, all that stuff. We'll see. Now, I couldn't find any copies sold or any up right now for this 1 in 50. It's just not there. Granted, we're a couple of days ahead of Wednesday. I don't know if a lot of shops order 50 copies, or if they did, they're just not pre-selling their books out there. Maybe they have a pull list, a pull list person who gets priority at their shops, and they're going to pull it for them. Who knows? But what I can tell you is I did look at the big stores online as well, the ones that'll do pre-sales, because not all of them do. Like my comic shop, you got to wait, so you can't really pre-buy, that far ahead. Pre-buy the variants. But the ones that do have them, couple of them are sold out. I think Midtown was sold out, and I think Graham Cracker might have been sold out. And then Golden Apple, I think, was the one I found that had one listed, but it's asking $100. So there you go. That's what's available. It's not on eBay. There's none on eBay, but Golden Apple has one for $100. If you were curious. Now I got a couple of DC books, and then we're gonna wrap it up for this week. And I kind of like these. Again, high ratio incentives. I don't like buying high ratios, but they are kind of cool. First one, 1 in 50 for Multiversity. Harley screws up the DCU. You get that homage there to the Flash of Two Worlds. See them there in the background. I think this whole run's going to have homages like this with Harley mixed in. I think I saw an Action Comics one coming, etc. But these are kind of fun. I kind of like it when they do play with an homage a little bit. It's not just a straight copy. It's got a little something different. Definitely interesting. Copies sold already on this thing for this 1 in 50, $80, $60. So it's a little above ratio already with those sales March 9th, and the other one back in February, actually. So looking ahead, people were buying this. Asking prices right now. Once again, there's an auction. Comic Biz throwing it up at auction out of the UK, but that one's already up to $12, but it still has 3.5 days left. So that one's not going to end until the weekend. Who knows where it's going to end? But the other buy it now copies of this are asking $65, so just above ratio, and $175. So that's a pretty tall order there, Nordberg. We'll see. We'll see what happens with this book and if they can get that price. And then we got one more book, and this is probably one that I think a lot of people have been looking forward to. I think some people have been talking about this ahead of time. I don't know. I just looked at the what was listed for this week, and it kind of caught my eye. Granted, it is another foil, and I've explained my feelings on the DC foils, but here we go. We'll see how the yellow pops once that dull foil gets put to it. But this 1 in 50 for what is this, like Lazarus? That Lazarus thing's got so many spin-offs. It's hard to keep track of all the Lazarus Planet books that they have coming out. But this 1 in 50 featuring Wonder Woman, Negative Space, really cool. I like it. Art is beautiful. It's selling pretty well. This is Lazarus Planet, Revenge of the Gods, #1. You can see copies are already selling. Best offers on $125. Best offer on $200. Buy it now, $150 for this 1 in 50. So already, this has got a lot of heat going in. Will it maintain? I don't know. We'll see if it holds. Following when, actually, this will be a Tuesday release. This is DC, so these will be out tomorrow. And you can see if your shop's got it. And asking prices, again, Comic Biz got that auction going. Granted, it's not going to end until the weekend with the other ones, but they're already up to $81 at auction. So that's with days to go. That one's already up to $81, and then buy it now for $200. So this one ain't cheap. At least pre-sales are not cheap, but maybe you can get it for cheap at your shop. So I don't know. If you do, let me know. Let me know if you're able to scoop up any of these books, if you're that interested in them. Like I said, I'm not making this list as all stuff I'm going to buy. I'm just curious about all this stuff. So I'm going to be tracking and watching. If I get the opportunity to get this stuff for cheap, yes, I will probably be partaking as well. But for now, I'm just watching. Just watching. So with that, this was the Wednesday watch list. Hopefully you found that entertaining. Hopefully you find this useful, and hopefully gives you some things to keep an eye out for when you hit the shop, whether it be tomorrow for your DC stuff or Wednesday for your regular pull list. thank you again for all your support to everybody. I appreciate you all. Again, check out the memberships. This is the kind of stuff that I like to drop for extra, and I'll continue to do all the regular shows as well, including Chasing Ghosts tomorrow, and everything else going on the schedule. So with that, I will bid you a fond farewell, and see you guys later with some more content. All right, bye.